What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Nerd Never Ending Ridiculous Discussion Gaming Podcast. I am your host this week. My name's Alan, and with me, the normal familiar face of the podcast is Dom. What's up, Dom?
Oh, not much. How you doing, man?
Oh, not too bad. It's been a busy week for me. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess not a whole lot has been really good going on in the gaming space in the past couple of weeks. Really, I mean, there hasn't been really any major announcements or releases or anything like huge that have been coming out. I know we have like a couple of things coming up. But so I guess I really want to just like talk about those, get your thoughts on some of those things. And then also there's some cool, well, maybe not cool, some rumors going around as well too about pushbacks on certain releases as well too. So I definitely would like to touch on that. But um I guess to kick things off, so we have a couple of events coming up that are looking to close out the year as far as announcements go. So we have the Pokemon Direct happening tomorrow, and we kind of know what's coming in that.
hmm
We'll talk about that. COD Call of Duty is going to be kind of revealing more about their next game, Vanguard, on the 19th, which we will talk about as well. And then Xbox has their event on the 24th. And then Magic also has their like 2022 roadmap on the 24th. Magic the Gathering does as well. So I guess from your perspective, which of these events are you kind of like the most excited to see? Like, what are you expecting the most out of these four events?
Hands down, it's going to be the Xbox Gamescom event on the 24th. It's definitely the one I'm most excited about. They already confirmed they're only going to talk about games they've previously talked about. So the big news everyone's hoping for is a Halo release date. Um, Now, whether or not they're actually going to do it, I would think they have to. What's really cool about Gamescom is that no one really owns Gamescom. Like it's not really known for any announcements. It's kind of known as that piggyback off E3 kind of presentation. So I think Microsoft and Xbox really have a good opportunity to just walk in and just kind of own the place. And I think announcing the Halo release date would be a good way of doing it. Me personally, though, I'm willing to bet that we're only going to get a release date for the multiplayer because they're releasing it separately with the multiplayer and the Infinite campaign.
Mhm.
Because we only got that such a small glimpse of the campaign at E3. There is a part of me that thinks that at Gamescom they're going to say, "Hey, Halo multiplayer, it's launching November, December." Um, for free to play with everything that they've planned on. And then the campaign, we're gonna drop that in like February or March. Like I could see them pushing the campaign at this point. I don't want them to. I want Halo Infinite to come out this year, but that's kind of the big one. And then, I mean, if you think about it, how many games has Xbox and Microsoft announced that they really never followed up on, especially last year alone? You have Crossfire X and a couple other ones that they just day for them. We haven't seen them in a while. So I'm definitely really excited to hopefully get some release dates and hopefully get Halo Infinite officially out.
Yeah, I mean Halo for me as well too, I think is a pretty exciting one. We just had the tech alpha. I don't know if it's still going on, but I know we just had the tech alpha um open up to the public, I think, or that you
Yeah.
could sign up for. Which like I guess was promising. Like from what I saw, I mean it looked pretty solid from everything I saw. It looked like Halo, right? Um, so yeah, I definitely agree. I hope that the um, multiplayer comes sooner. And I actually for me, and I don't know if this is something that they ever. I think I heard rumors that this was something that they were going to do, and I don't know if it's actually confirmed or not. But if there, I heard something about a Halo like BR happening as well with
hmm
this, which would be awesome, right? If they release the multiplayer and the BR alongside each other. If you want to talk about, a way to completely steal Gamescom, I know that Halo BR is something that people have been just kind of clamoring for and like thinking, yeah, this would be insane if they ever happen to do a Halo BR, that it would knock everything else out of the park. So that could be cool. Maybe not necessarily like a release date, but maybe more information about it, some gameplay footage or design systems information, which would be really cool. Um, for me, yeah, definitely. Um, I know for me personally, the other three events for me are pretty heavy on my watch lists. The Pokemon Direct. I'm a big Pokemon fan, so we know that Diamond and Pearl. I forget what the remakes are called. It's Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Those are coming out in November. We know that for
Hmm.
sure. And then we know that Arceus, Pokemon Legends Arceus, I think is coming out in 2022. I think like in like January or February or something along those lines. And so I'm excited to see more information about those. What kind that specifically? I mean, Diamond and Pearl remakes traditionally. The Pokemon remakes have always been generally well received. They've built upon a really solid foundation of the original games, and then just kind of they've generally stayed true to the originals, and then maybe add on a couple of cool quality of life things or extra content towards the end of the game to just to give the fans something more. So I know that that's going to be really cool to see. But Arceus is something that it's this like open world Pokemon game, that like real time Pokemon game, which the concept seems, it's so foreign to um, anything in the mainline Pokemon series. So that'll be really cool to see. COD with their Vanguard stuff. So they released the Vanguard trailer yesterday, I believe, or the day before. Oh yeah, yesterday, which you don't get a whole lot of like context to anything. It does obviously it's a very much a World War II type of vibe. Um, as far as like kind of the aesthetics and the graphical trailer looks crazy. Like the trailer, like the graphics in there look really, really sweet. One thing that they say at the end though is see them rise. So what that could entirely mean, we know that Call of Duty loves their zombies. So
Hmm.
whether or not that has some kind of play into this at all, we'll have to see. But 19th at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, so 11 or 12:30 Central Time. Um, Apparently if we drop into Warzone, I'm gonna guess there's going to be like a limited time event that's going to happen. There's going to be they did this with various with the Cold War release when they had started to announce and release Cold War. They did a limited time event where you were basically forced into the event. Like you couldn't play any of the other modes until you played the event. And it was honestly, that event was really well received. They did a really good job of making the event feel unique and making everything. It felt hectic and crazy and chaotic, but and then it had a really cool cinematic play out at the end. So I'm very excited. I'm definitely going to be hopping in to Verdansk on the 19th and getting that sorted out, seeing what that's all about. Hopefully, my hopes are that once that event drops, the Activision's going to put out some kind of press statement or press release about what's coming in Vanguard, particularly for like the Warzone side of things. Really, is there going to be, because apparently the Vanguard's supposed to overhaul a lot of things, a lot of systems and things like that. So I'm hoping there's a proper anti-cheat. I'm hoping that they fix the balance of things. I hope they just like they ranked modes for Warzone, like tons of things that are on I think almost every Warzone player's wish list. And they really need to knock this one out of the park because a lot of the major content creators around Warzone have left the game for Apex. So like, I think people like Tim the Tatman, Nick Merckx, Swag, like a lot of these guys who are big Call of Duty pros gone just because the state of the game is so bad right now. I mean, or at least preseason 5, it was just so bad. So hopefully this is something that will get everyone back on their side again, and the game will be in a healthy state. And the last thing I'll mention here is the Magic the Gathering thing. Obviously, if anybody watches the last podcast, I write for write Magic the Gathering content and produce Magic the Gathering content for my job. So I'm heavily vested in that stuff. And seeing they have an announcement on the 24th as well about the timeline for 2022 for Magic the Gathering. My hope is that really for me of all things is a plan on their organized play. They scrapped the entire organized play system, the competitive play system, about 4 or 5 months ago or so at this point, and so we've kind of been in this really weird lull period of what's happening, what's coming next. So hopefully that for me is the big thing I'm looking forward to on that. Now you had mentioned earlier about Halo,
Mhm.
kind of jumping to the next thing here. So Halo, that they might push back the campaign a bit. I mean, there are other games that we have heard rumors of that are potentially getting pushed back as well too, getting past pushed back past 20, even 2022 even.
Mhm.
What other things aside from Halo, or like what have you heard from Halo, and then any other titles that you've heard of that are on that potential pushback list?
Uh, yeah, the big rumor it's all but confirmed at this point, and is on Sony's side with the Horizon Zero Dawn sequel, Horizon Forbidden West. They obviously had or not obviously, but they had the state of play a few months ago, I think, maybe, where they had like a 15-minute demo of the game, and it's absolutely stunning. I loved Horizon Forbidden West, so I'm definitely very, very excited for the sequel, um, for the PlayStation 4 and or 5. Um, but as of right now, it's they've been silent. Like when that state of play ended, they went, well, that's it, and they walked away. We all were
Yeah.
we were staring at it like, where's the date? Like it looks
Right.
so good. And as of right now, the rumor is that it's going to be pushed to 2022. They have been talking for a while that it's a 2021 game. And by all means, I mean the developers take as much time as they need. I'd rather have a better playing, a more perfect game, and not stress out the employees and the developers, rather than having a rush product and, sick employees over there. So by all
Right.
means, take the time. But if that does get delayed, and same with Halo, if Halo, every factor of it gets delayed, what's kind of left? And I think Microsoft, actually, I don't really know who has it better at this point, because at least Microsoft has Forza Horizon 5, I think is the next one. That's pretty much set in stone, and that game's going to do well. The Forza games do really well, and obviously they have Game
Yeah.
Pass, so they're going to kill it. Um, and they're getting Back for Blood. Is that what that one's called?
Yeah.
So they're getting that in Game Pass. Like Microsoft's pretty much fine. I think they're going to be okay, especially with the new Battlefield and apparently Call of Duty Vanguard now. Which
Yep.
despite the lawsuit, Call of Duty Vanguard is going to sell great. It's going to get plenty of
Yeah.
attention. Um,
Yeah.
but I look at Sony's side, and I gotta wonder, what else is left. I know you could say they have Deathloop, the new Arcane game, which looks amazing, and it's definitely something I want to play. But in the back of my head, and anyone who owns an Xbox, it's a Bethesda game. It's going to show up on Game Pass sooner rather than later. Um,
Right.
so I think when it comes to Sony, like I don't really know what else is left. They obviously have Kena Bridge of Spirits, which got pushed to I think late September. That game looks really exciting. But beyond that, I really don't know what else they have. And Sony really hasn't said anything. They've been really quiet. about upcoming games, and it kind of just makes me kind of sit back and say like, hey, what are we going to be playing for the rest of 2021? We have Guardians of the Galaxy, Battlefield, probably Call of Duty. I'm assuming Call of Duty is coming out this year. And besides a few other releases, it really does feel like we're not getting that big title this year. At least the Switch, obviously, you have the Pokemon remix. You have Metroid Dread, a new Mario Party, Advance Wars, and you have another big
Oh,
scale Pokemon game coming out quickly after that in January. As of right now, unless it gets delayed tomorrow. Um,
right.
so I think it's definitely kind of a weird year. Obviously, we're still facing the ramifications of COVID with the with all the developers. Um, but it is kind of amazing that some of these games that we thought for sure were coming out in 2021, like I would have bet my mortgage that Halo Infinite's coming out this year, and as of right now, there's no date. Not for
Yeah.
anything, and I would not be surprised if that got delayed.
Yeah, and I think also too, I guess before we bury the lead too heavily on this as well too. One other game that is rumored this to get delayed as well too is
Mm.
Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
Which is weird because in the Q3 earnings call, I think, or Q2 earnings call for Activision Blizzard, um, they had said that the Overwatch 2 team had made a major internal milestone. Whatever that exactly means. They didn't elaborate on it or anything like that. They just kind of said, "Hey, there's a big milestone," and then they moved on. And then come to find out, a couple weeks later that apparently development's going a lot slower on the Overwatch 2 team than expected. And obviously, we covered in the last podcast the whole lawsuit and everything like that, and
Hmm.
the really like terrible circumstances surrounding that company and potentially the Overwatch team as well. And so I've even heard rumors of like people were say internally were saying that a lot of the progression that they had made kind of prior to, I think even prior to Kaplan leaving, um, had to be scrapped. I think to just to and to, like to start over almost, right? Like there's so much uncertainty because we just don't know for sure about anything. I mean, they're trying to deal with the lawsuit and everything like that. So right now there's definitely conflicting information around Overwatch 2. But supposedly that's on the back burner. That's going to be pushed back to 2023 even further. So that's kind of crazy. Cool. So I guess then, yeah, I guess really that ultimately leaves us with what are we playing now? What are we looking forward to
Hmm.
be playing kind of for the rest of the year? Um, at least until, something else major comes out.
Yeah, and as of right now, in fact, kind of a cool, or not really cool, but kind of a fun little story. I really haven't been playing too much recently. Um, and where we are, if you remember last week, we had awful storms, you know.
Yep.
And I had the light post, the electricity post outside my house, got toppled over, and there were
Oh, fun.
there were power lines all over my driveway. Um, so I had obviously no electricity, and I live on a well, so I had no water, and
Fun.
yeah, I had that for like a good 4 or 5 days. So I just now kind of been sat back, like we've had to push the recording of this podcast. I wanted to do this, over the weekend, but I couldn't because I didn't have internet and had to get home. Uh, so I really haven't been playing too much, but I have dove into finally bought the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and I'm replaying the trilogy. I plowed through the first one, and that might be sacrilege to people who really like Mass Effect, but I really just don't like the Mako or the Mako. And even the way they reconfigured it, like the first like 10 seconds of me driving it, I'm twisted around and I'm flipped. It's I hate that thing. And yeah, also it's just there's such a drastic difference between Mass Effect 1 and then 2 and 3 and Andromeda. with the way they play that I just like I mainlined it and like finished it in 7 hours. I don't think that's even
Yeah.
possible for most people, but I just went for it. But I'm knee deep into Mass Effect 2, getting all those loyalty missions. Um, I just got a few more characters to do, and then I think I can just go back to the main line and finish that one. My goal is to play through 2, and then after that, I want to something I'm super excited for is the Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island expansion. That's coming out Friday. I love like that ancient Japanese samurai era kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So Ghost of Tsushima was like my 2019. I'm pretty sure it is. Might be 2019, 2020. I don't remember what year it came out. But that was like my personal game of the year that year. I loved it. It was so good. And I can't wait to dive back into that one. But I do want to finish Mass Effect 2 first. Then after that, I know Psychonauts 2 comes available, and I want to give that one a shot. I remember playing the first one a long time ago, back in the original Xbox, and so I'm looking forward to diving into that one. And that one's going to be on Game Pass for Xbox owners, and it's available on PlayStation 4 as well. So a lot of people should check that out. It's just a good platformer. It's going to be funny. Um, and the developers of those games, really need kind of the love and appreciation. So that is kind of my recommendation. If there's a game that everyone kind of keeps looking away, I know it's not out yet, but everyone should at least look at Psychonauts 2.
Cool. Yeah, so and as for me, um, I've been playing a boatload of Magic. I stopped playing WoW altogether probably at the beginning of the month. I'll pretty much have been done with that. But I did pick up Final Fantasy 14. I'm trying to play that a little bit. It's a bit tricky though because even though I boosted a character to get to skip the story up to the current expansion. Um, I haven't had really like the drive to just go and sit down and just level a character through to max level. I ran a couple of dungeons and stuff with some friends, but that's really about it. And then but for that, a new expansion's coming out, I think in November. So Endwalkers is coming out in November for that. But what I did pick up in the meantime, in addition, is I've been playing Destiny 2 again.
Ooh.
I played a lot of Destiny 1, a lot of Destiny 2 when it came out on PC. So all of my friends have kind of gotten back into it again. We did our first raid the other day, which was really fun. So I've been getting really heavily back into that. And the new season for Destiny 2 for Beyond Light comes out in in a week or so. So there's that. I've been playing that quite a bit. Dabbling in Warzone here and there. I'm definitely going to be playing that in a couple days when the Vanguard thing drops. But just every now and again I'll pop on and play with some buddies. Um, and then from otherwise on the PC side, that's pretty. Oh, I've been playing Teamfight Tactics, which for anybody who's familiar with kind of like the auto battler or auto chess genre, that's League of Legends auto chess game, which is on mobile on PC. So I've been playing a little bit of that. New set came out for that, I think last week or something, or 2 weeks ago, and it's been pretty fun. I played a lot of Teamfight Tactics when it came out as well, so that's been something I've been doing there. Going forward for Switch, definitely looking forward to Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. I'm gonna be playing through those. I might try to stream those. Um, and definitely, obviously, and then obviously Arceus when that comes out. That's gonna be something I'll play. I'm very excited for Advance Wars. I know you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Advance Wars was one of my favorite games back in the day when I was a kid. So I'm super, super excited to see those come out on the Switch. I'm absolutely picking those up. Um, Other than that, I don't think I have too much else really planned, but I that's a pretty packed agenda for the rest of the year. if I do say so myself. So that's what I'm gonna be hitting on.
Oh yeah,
So
there's a lot still coming out. Like I only mentioned like the next 2 weeks. You know, like obviously like on the Xbox side, you know, you have Back for Blood that's going to be dropping on there. Obviously the new Forza, the stuff I kind of mentioned already. Sony, there's the Death Stranding director's cut I think coming out as well. Gonna be honest, not a huge fan of that one. I played the original version. I don't think the director's cut's gonna make it any better for me. But like on the Nintendo Switch alone, though, like I've never played Advance Wars ever. I've only played Fire Emblem.
really,
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to check it out. I love the pixel art of it. It looks really fun. Um,
oh
and then I don't know. Did you catch the Nintendo Indies Direct? They just actually had. Um, was it? It might have been yesterday or maybe Friday. They had one. Um, and it was oh no, it was last week. No, it was more into last week, and they showed off the something that's very similar to the Advanced Wars, which I haven't seen. The Metal Slug, the new Metal Slug
oh yeah.
Tactics. Yeah, that that's also 2022. I don't think they ever really said when that game is gonna come out. I think it was the first time we ever got a release window. That game looks amazing. That's definitely gonna be a Switch kind of day one for me. Other than that, though, I mean, I could go on and on about games looking forward to, but I think if, assuming Horizon doesn't come out and maybe Halo, my number one, two, and three is probably going to be Metroid Dread. Number one, definitely. I mean, I've been preaching about that game since the show started. I find any excuse I can to mention Metroid in one of these podcasts. Um, and then definitely Kingdom Bridge of Spirits, and then number three. I honestly, God, I actually have to think about that one. I would maybe say the Guardians of the Galaxy just because um, I trust Square enough that it might be pretty fun. You know, I like a lot of Square Enix games, especially the recent ones. You know, Final Fantasy VII, the remake was really good. Um, I will live and die the Tomb Raider trilogy. I really wish they would have made a PlayStation 5 or a Series X version of that. Um, or at least continue the series. You know, I'm kind of crossing my fingers they bring her back someday. Um, other than that, yeah, that's pretty much the rest of the year. It's at this point, I'm just waiting for more things to get delayed. Um,
Yeah.
you know, not to talk about the Pokemon thing because it's gonna be by the time this episode goes up, this will be the Pokemon thing's gonna happen. Um,
Yeah.
but if I was to have a last minute
Oh,
prediction, I'm thinking the Legends is probably going to be delayed even further. I which I kind of want it to be delayed. I want that game to have as much time in the oven as it can.
yeah. So I actually I have kind of like a tentative or a comprehensive list of stuff that's supposed to come out.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of peeking through this. One thing that we talked about on the last podcast that I'm actually kind of excited to try out, and I definitely will probably be giving it a shot is Lost in Random. I think
Oh yeah.
that game seemed really cool to me, so I'm definitely going to give that one a shot. And then the other thing that I just saw that was apparently Far Cry 6, if you're into Far Cry
Never played a Far
stuff.
Cry.
Yeah, I haven't either. I know that a lot of people are on that. Battlefield, I guess, as well too.
Hmm.
But the one thing that I completely forgot, D2 Resurrected, Diablo 2 Resurrected, coming out in September. So that's something that I never played D2. I started with D3.
Hmm.
So you know, D2 Resurrected, I may give a chance to. I have to see. I forget how much it costs, but I might give that one a shot.
I'm
If I'm, for whatever reason, lost for things to do.
I'm pretty sure it's full price if I remember if I recall correctly. But I'm like you. I've actually only played Diablo 3. I played it on the Switch for like it was on sale for
Okay.
like $15. Hey, it was great on the Switch. You know, I don't think it's really that
See,
demanding of a
that's
game.
that's really odd to me. It's interesting to me because as somebody who has traditionally played like ARPGs on PC, I
Yeah,
could not imagine playing something like that. Like even like there's Path of Exile is also on console. Like I can't imagine playing Path of Exile or Diablo or anything like that on controller. I have like no idea how that would even work. Like my brain just can't comprehend how that entire process would work. Like it's just interesting to me.
Oh, it
But
just becomes a top-down button masher.
okay,
Like
so it's okay. So it feels kind of like it's almost like what's it called? Does it feel kind of like how a Devil May Cry like sort of feel like you're just like spamming
oh,
buttons a whole bunch?
I wouldn't go that far. It doesn't feel like a platinum game or anything like that.
Okay,
It's definitely more along the lines of like it's been a while. I don't think I've played this in a couple years, but I would say more like kind of an old school, maybe Zelda. You know, you kind of walking around, just pressing the button, pressing dodge,
gotcha.
or maybe more in the vein of Hades.
Oh, okay.
Speaking more
Oh yeah,
recently,
Hades.
yeah.
Hades would be, but yeah, even then, like I tried playing Hades on controller, and it's foreign to me. It's so strange to me.
Oh yeah,
Like I played it on. I purposefully like made my hands contort to my keyboard to try to play Hades on keyboard and mouse, and I actually like it more on keyboard and mouse. So yeah, that's
I feel like
super.
I gotta have like the most prime controller for Hades. I still haven't beaten Hades. I did so many runs and I could never actually get past the final boss.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that bad of a gamer, but I just for some reason like I beat Dead Cells. You know, like Dead Cells isn't easy. I think Dead Cells is
Yeah.
harder. And I beat Celeste, but I can't get
Oh,
Hades.
Celestis.
Celeste was the hardest game I've ever beaten. I
See, that's interesting. I wonder if you would have a better time. I don't know. Maybe you're traditionally a controller like console
yeah.
player, anyways, right? So yeah, it might be a bit harder to switch it over to keyboard and mouse, but like having like just the flexibility of targeting with a keyboard or with a keyboard and mouse just makes it so much. I don't know, not easier, but just a lot more bearable in some
Yeah.
some capacity.
I like my
But
stick aim assist, you know.
yes, yeah, it's the aim assist on the stick. Yeah.
Yeah. Always turn on the max. No one will ever notice.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so think that covers it. Any final thoughts?
No, I know this has been kind of a slow week. Definitely looking forward to the next episode because we're gonna have, Pokemon,
A
we'll
lot
have Call of Duty
more to talk
Vanguard,
about.
yeah, and obviously the Microsoft Gamescom. Hoping we'll get more from Sony. Um, and I don't think Nintendo is really gonna do much
No,
more.
they usually
Yeah,
they've announced a lot, I think, in the last, couple months.
exactly. And honestly, as of right now, definitely just kind of looking forward to kind of just what's next. It's definitely been kind of a slump so far this year. In fact, I don't even know. Like, what would you, if you were to say like a game of the year so far for this year, would you have one personally, or do you think that there is even one that's capable of getting that based on everything coming out this year?
Um, I have to think back about what games were released this year. Um,
I know, like it's kind of a tough one, but like right off the bat, I'm like Death's Door got a lot of really positive praise. Um, on the Xbox. It might be on PC, but I think the Xbox and the PC community. And then beyond that, I really, off the top of my head, I cannot think. Oh, Returnal and then Ratchet and Clank, are
oh
probably like the
yeah,
two.
I heard that was really, really good.
Oh, if you like, hope Returnal does make it to PC because I doubt you're gonna buy a PlayStation 5 anytime soon. Um,
Yeah, probably not.
but if it makes it on PC, if you liked Hades, Returnal is really, really good. That's another one that I just haven't been able to beat yet. But I put it down for now.
Yeah. I'm just kind of like perusing through this list of games that came out this year and just seeing if there was anything that I would probably that I would say that I would be comfortable calling a game of the year quality.
Yeah,
Um I think that I think so far I would probably have to say um I would probably have to It would have to go between either like new Pokemon Snap for nostalgia,
Yeah.
the Tony Hawk Pro Skater remakes, 1 and 2 remakes, for nostalgia. Um, or was that this year, or was that just on Xbox and place and
Um,
on console this year?
I'm pretty sure it was just re-released this year
Oh, okay.
on the Switch and then on the new edition. So that technically probably wouldn't you wouldn't be able to count them.
Wouldn't count. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mario Golf, the new Mario Golf game, um,
Really?
on Switch.
A
I
lot.
love Mario Golf. I played it. I played a crap ton of Mario Golf on N64 and on Game Boy Advance back in the day, or not even Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color back in the day. So the new Mario Golf game on the Switch, I really like a ton, especially because there is multiplayer, online multiplayer, and not just regular golf. There's a few different modes of golf available, and you actually also those modes like have you running around to your ball after you hit it. It seems like really simple, but it for me is like a nostalgia thing. Definitely up there. I haven't played this yet, but I've watched it. Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate.
Oh, I
The
forgot about that.
the DLC, the Yuffie DLC. Obviously, like you said, the FF7R was, I think, probably that was probably my 2020 game of the year.
Mhm.
Um, so obviously adding into it with Integrate, and seeing kind of what's come out of that storyline. Uh, yeah, that's really, really close. And if I had a PS5, I would absolutely be playing that. But I think that really I need to just for me need to wait until I need to wait until Pokemon comes out, and to see what they do with Pokemon. I need to, see how Advance Wars does for me. I mean, I think my criteria for Game of the Year is a bit different than kind of like the average, critics Game of the Year criteria.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, Advance Wars, Pokemon, are probably like the two holdouts I think for me. And then obviously like if Halo Infinite for whatever reason happens to drop in December, if they're farther along on it, then maybe they're letting on or whatever, and they just happen to have it drop, then maybe. I guess I could also potentially see Lost in Random being up there if depending on how that is. I think that that's the kind of game that could make Game of the Year lists. It kind of has. I don't know. I feel like I've seen games like that make lists before in the past, so I could definitely see that. Um, but I think yeah, as of what we have right now, I think maybe it's just and I think just Integrate probably would be one I would pick.
Mm. I think I would.
Yeah,
I think overall, I definitely, as of right now, like Returnal's up there. I think I would put Ratchet and Clank above it. Um, I do love my platformers, my cartoony, fun platformers, and Ratchet and Clank is just, in my opinion, perfect. Like the entire time I'm playing the game, I think in 1080, it might be 1080, it might be 1440, I don't remember. But it's 1080 60 with the ray tracing. It's whatever Insomniac came up so you can get like the best of every world. And it's the most
right.
beautiful game I've ever played. Just hands down, it was fantastic. So, um, it's funny, like Sony has so many like Game of the Year sides, but like I have no idea what they're doing for the rest of the year. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty much it. Like this year's just been a weird one.
yeah, yeah, definitely coming out of pandemic year. It's kind of interesting to see. Hopefully, we'll get some solid announcements in the next couple weeks, and 2022 shapes up to be a bit more, I don't know, eventful, some larger big hits, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got Breath of the Wild sequel is tentative for 2022. Pokemon Arceus 2022. Horizon Forbidden West might be 2022, and oh my god, I can't remember what it's called. But that Bethesda game, not the space one, is 11/11 2022. I don't know if you remember.
That's uh Dead Space.
No, not Dead Space. It's the can't remember what it's called, but it's the Hold on. The second I type it in, I'm gonna Starfield. That's it.
Starfield?
Yeah, Starfield is
Yeah.
2022. So there's gonna be 2022 is, as of right now, if it all stays intact, it's gonna be a killer year. So we'll see.
Cool.
But
Yep.
I'm willing to bet Starfield's getting delayed. But
Well, I guess yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Cool. Well, I think that does it for us. Appreciate everybody checking out the podcast today again. This is the Nerd Never Ending Ridiculous Discussions Gaming Podcast. I'm Alan. With me is Dom. Have a great rest of your day, guys. We'll see you later.
Nerd out.